नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका एक बार फिर से इस लाइव स्ट्रीम पर। द चैनल इज कॉल्ड आर यू हियर फॉर द क्रिकेट, ब्रॉट यू बाय डैफा न्यूज। दोस्तों, आज क्या जबरदस्त मैच है। पुणे में है आज का मैच, न्यूजीलैंड और साउथ अफ्रीका के बीच में। अ मैच व्हिच कुड डिसाइड द आउटकम ऑफ हाउ, नॉट द आउटकम बट द नेचर ऑफ द फाइनल फोर ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड कप। जी हाँ दोस्तों, 3 days after the All Blacks were beaten by the Springboks 12-11 in Paris in the Rugby World Cup final, the teams of the two nations will be clashing in Pune, यानी कि ब्लैक कैप्स वर्सेस साउथ अफ्रीका। और अगर आप नहीं जानते तो आपको बता दूं कि ये मुकाबला जो है दोनों टीम्स के बीच, इट्स द फर्स्ट टाइम they've met since the 2019 वर्ल्ड कप। जी हाँ दोस्तों, 4 साल हो चुके हैं कि साउथ अफ्रीका और न्यूजीलैंड एक वनडे मैच खेले, एंड जस्ट द सेकंड ओवरऑल सिंस 2017। तो हालांकि एक काफी इंटेंस राइवलरी है, बहुत बहुत कम ये टीम खेले हैं पिछले 7-8 साल में। और आपको बता दो कि जिस मैच का मैं जिक्र कर रहा था 4 साल पहले वर्ल्ड कप में, इट वाज अ मैच इन बर्मिंघम एट एजबास्टन, एंड आई वाज एट द ग्राउंड कवरिंग द मैच। आई वाज इन द प्रेस बॉक्स when a very fine Kane Williamson 100 took New Zealand over the line in a tense win and effectively ended South Africa's rather dismal World Cup campaign from 4 years ago. और उससे पहले दोस्तों, एजबास्टन बर्मिंघम मैं कब गया था? मैं उससे ठीक 20 साल पहले गया था, इन द समर ऑफ 1999। दैट वाज माय फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड कप मैच। आई जस्ट ग्रेजुएटेड फ्रॉम हाई स्कूल। माय फादर एंड आई ट्रैवल फ्रॉम इंडिया टू इंग्लैंड टू वॉच द टू सेमीफाइनल्स। और वो जो पहला सेमीफाइनल था दोस्तों at Birmingham between these two teams, it was, as we all know, the most epic, unforgettable semi-final of all time. The match ended in a tie, but it knocked out South Africa. यानी कि कहने का मतलब है कि जब बंदा 2 बार बर्मिंघम गया था, दोनों बार साउथ अफ्रीका उस वर्ल्ड कप में खेले और दोनों बार साउथ अफ्रीका बाहर हो गई थी। एंड सबसे मजेदार बात, उन दो वर्ल्ड कप मैचेस के बीच 2015 वर्ल्ड कप का जो सेमीफाइनल था एट ईडन पार्क ऑकलैंड, I was again in the ground covering the match for Crick Buzz, and what an epic semi-final that was when once again New Zealand, hosts of that World Cup, knocked out South Africa. लेकिन साउथ अफ्रीका वालों, आप इस बार यू कैन ब्रीथ इजी। मैं पुणे में नहीं हूं, मैं आज मैदान में नहीं हूं, तो आपके जीतने के चांसेस अच्छे हैं इस बार। But in all seriousness, given the fact that it has been 24 years since South Africa managed to beat New Zealand in a World Cup, जी हाँ, पिछली बार जब कोई भी साउथ अफ्रीकन टीम कोई भी न्यूजीलैंड टीम को एक वर्ल्ड कप में हरा चुकी थी, वो 1999 है। बिफोर दैट सेमीफाइनल दे मेट इन द अर्लियर राउंड एंड साउथ अफ्रीका बीट न्यूजीलैंड। सो विल द South African team be able to break this 24-year jinx over a team which has pretty much got the better of them when it comes to the World Cup? They also beat them in 2007. अभी जो है दोस्तों, साउथ अफ्रीका दूसरे स्थान पे हैं और न्यूजीलैंड तीसरे पे हैं। आज का जो विजेता होगा, they're going to swap places. If it's New Zealand, if South Africa win, they're going to virtually, like India, have one foot in the semi-final. लेकिन क्योंकि मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा डॉजी रहता हूं साउथ अफ्रीकन टीम्स को लेकर, इनके पास 3 मुकाबले बाकी। अगर जो आज न्यूजीलैंड हारती है तो लाइक आई सेड, साउथ अफ्रीका कैन ब्रीथ इजी, और फिर पूरा दबाव आएगा केन विलियमसन और टॉम लेथम की टीम पर। लेकिन माय गट फीलिंग सेज वंस अगेन New Zealand will bring their A game. They look a slightly more professional unit than most teams. मेरा ये प्रेडिक्शन है आज के शो पर कि न्यूजीलैंड विल बीट साउथ अफ्रीका, और फिर साउथ अफ्रीका के ऊपर जो दबाव रहेगा आखिरी के 2 मैच जीतने के लिए, इट्स गोइंग टू बी क्वाइट समथिंग। इसी बात पर लेट्स गेट दिस लाइव स्ट्रीम गोइंग विद सम कमेंट्स फ्रॉम यू। मैं तो बोल चुका हूं, करारा मुकाबला रहेगा, जबरदस्त मुकाबला रहेगा, बिकॉज दीज टू टीम्स, दे डोंट डू डल डू दे डोंट डू वन साइडेड डू दे व्हेन इट कम्स टू वर्ल्ड कप्स। आज के विजेता मेरे हिसाब से न्यूजीलैंड होगी, शायद बारीकी मामला से, just to put the South African team under a little more pressure. And like most of us want, at least I want, something fun before the final four stage gets underway. चलिए लेट्स सी आप लोग क्या कहते हैं इस मैच के बारे में। William Salaback with Haaland in his pocket. What a name. LO, Jamie. Gonna be a great match today, won't it? It really will, my friend. New Zealand losing today is the best result for all parties. No. I want to see New Zealand win so that they get closer. I want to see them in the final four. And like I said, I know I'm in a minority here. South Africa have been very, very good when they bat first. They've surprised many of us, including me. But somehow I still think इनका कुछ हो सकता है कि गड़बड़ हो जाए, because they have some tricky matches up ahead. I think they will lose to New Zealand. उसके बाद let's look at who they have. I know they have Afghanistan. Yeah, South Africa. इसके बाद they have India on the 5th. I think India, that's a match which could be the real cracker because India is looking unstoppable. South Africa, if they bat first, could really put India under pressure. But look, I'm just saying hypothetically, I would love to see South Africa make the semifinals. But because I've always been a skeptic over this team. Well, not always, since I watched that epic semi-final. I'm just saying, hypothetically, go with me here. Let's say South Africa lose to New Zealand today. Uske baad they lose to India. That means they're stuck on 10 points. They have to beat Afghanistan in that final match. Afghanistan have beaten, get this, Afghanistan have beaten three World Cup winners now in a row. They've beaten England, World Cup winners. They've beaten Pakistan, World Cup winners. Okay. And then they've beaten who? They've beaten Sri Lanka. South Africa have not won the World Cup yet, but that match against them could be a slippery slope. So, anyways, I'm just saying it'll be fun if things get thrown out of whack with the New Zealand win today. सर क्या आपको लगता है पाकिस्तान सेमी में जाएगी अब नहीं कोई चांस नहीं so I think today SA FA versus NZ the way SA beat England all this time I think they can beat NZ I would love to see them do it but 24 साल हो गए तो let's see New Zealand are also coming off two losses तो मुश्किल रहेगा but जो भी है I think this is one of the matches before the World Cup इसको देख के मैंने कहा भैया क्योंकि मैं इतने सारे साउथ अफ्रीका न्यूजीलैंड मुकाबले देख चुका हूं ये भी कुछ मसालेदार मैच होगा I've got a very bad sore throat which is why I'm not in Bombay today covering India Sri Lanka. Like I said yesterday, I had to cancel my plans to cover the match tomorrow because I've got a really bad throat and just didn't want to make it worse. Didn't want to exert myself traveling and standing outside the ground doing live shows, plus putting others at risk too in the press box. So having a lot of hot water for my throat. ध्रुवेश कहने आज का मैच क्लोज होगा तो मजा आएगा इंपॉर्टेंट मैच ऑफ बोथ टीम्स yep and I think I've already answered your question by saying New Zealand women. आज का मैच close अच्छा youngsters like Rachin and Marco seem very impressive. बिल्कुल they've been outstanding. Marco Jansen has really come across. I mean we all knew he could bowl, but his batting has been outstanding. And this is the longest I've got to watch Rachin Ravindra. He's definitely one for the future. And there's a massive IPL contract coming his way as well. For SA to win, it needs to bat first. बिल्कुल सही कह रहा हूँ मैं तो कह चुका हूँ कितनी बार there's two South Africans playing this World Cup. The one that bats first and puts a 400 and the one that cannot chase. It'll be tough. जय भाई 2015 का ऐसे न्यूजीलैंड मैच आपको याद होगा बिल्कुल मैं वहीं था मैं स्टेडियम के अंदर था मैं उस टाइम क्रिक बज का स्पोर्ट्स एडिटर था and one of my most unforgettable matches I have watched the two most epic semi-final matches between South Africa. One was 1999 मैं वहीं था Edgbaston पे when they tied with Australia. Lance Klusener, Alan Donald had a brain fade. और फिर 2015 Eden Gardens when they just lost the plot completely. और उसके बाद प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में जो एबी डिविलियर्स रोया था ओह वी ऑल फेल्ट वेरी सैड फॉर एबी दैट डे स्वप्निल कह रहे हैं साउथ अफ्रीका ओवरकेम देयर हैबिट ऑफ choking after beating Pakistan in a close match you can say they got that one upset out of the way but have they overcome it I will not pass my judgment until this World Cup is over मैं अभी भी कहता हूं ये टीम रायता जरूर फैलाएगी और इनके सारे फैन जो हैं एक बार फिर से रोएंगे बेचारे आई फील रियली बैड फॉर साउथ अफ्रीकन फैन इस बार at least मुझे लगता है वही होगा we've all seen this film before will Kane play in this match I don't think so I know the coach said that Gary Stead said that they're hopeful but अगर ये खेलते हैं आज केन विलियमसन तो भाई आधा मैच तो वहीं निकल गया साउथ अफ्रीका के लिए क्योंकि पिछली बार 4 साल पहले बर्मिंघम Edgbaston I was there and he played a stunning 100 there was a run out missed right at the end by David Miller which got them across the line so yep Yes, Dhruvesh, आपने मेरी मन की बात छीन ली. Give South Africa to chase and they will choke definitely. ये इनकी जिंदगी की क्या जिंदगी की यही रीत. I shouldn't be singing. I got a bad throat. You know what I'm saying? South Africa अगर चेस करेगी तो हारेगी. I mean, I know they beat Pakistan, but मेरे हिसाब से भाई आप एक विकेट से जीतते हो. 15 वाइड पाकिस्तान टीम ने दिया था. Well done to you, but all signs are there कि भैया like I said that अगर कोई बेटर बॉलिंग अटैक होती बेटर फील्डिंग अटैक होती तो तबरेज शामसी और केशव महाराज बहुत पहले होटल में होते तो but yes hats off to South Africa hopefully they have turned a corner with that win गला बहुत खराब है दोस्तों आप लोग बताइए I don't know I'm looking forward to this match and I think the Pune मैदान जो है it's interesting because you can score runs there it's not a massive ground but you can it's tricky sometimes they play slow and low देखते हैं यार ये इस जोड़ी कब खेलेगा आप लोग को क्या लगता है इस जोड़ी अब तक क्यों नहीं खेला is it because Rachin Ravindra and Glenn Phillips have been doing so well I would throw a googly to South Africa and somehow risky है I think they would really struggle against Ish Sodhi. Leg spinner इनको दिक्कत देती. I would somehow find a way today to play Ish Sodhi. Which players have been disappointing this World Cup across all teams, batsmen and bowlers? So many. Yeah. How many have been good? The ratio of players who have not lived up to the potential versus the ratio who have, it's skewed. I mean, you look at Australia. इनके तो डेविड वार्नर ही चल रहे हैं, एडम जैम्पा ही चल रहे हैं, पाकिस्तान में कोई नहीं चल रहा है, साउथ अफ्रीका में डिकॉक चल रहे हैं, क्लासन चल रहे हैं, यैनसन चल रहे हैं, मार्क्रम चल रहे हैं, वैनडूसन इज नॉट डूइंग मच, डेविड मिलर इज नॉट डूइंग मच, रबाडा इज नॉट डूइंग मच, श्रीलंका में कोई नहीं चल रहा है, बहुत बहुत कम. ट्रेंट बोल्ट नॉट एग्जैक्टली, ट्रेंट बोल्ट अनदर वन, बट क्योंकि वो ट्रेंट बोल्ट है, भैया जिस दिन इसका स्पेल आएगा ना बंदे का, ओ भैया आई वुडंट वांट टू बी एनी ऑपोजिशन टीम. Will they include Shamsi given his last performance? I would play Shamsi because it's Pune, and he got 4 wickets. I would definitely play him. But like I said for New Zealand, I would somehow try and find a way to play Ish Sodhi. Leg breaks against South Africa if they're chasing. Game turner. हेनरी निकल्स को क्या नहीं लिया गया? आई डोंट थिंक हेनरी निकल्स है इस बार. आई थिंक इनका वनडे फॉर्म काफी खराब रहा. आई थिंक ही वाज ड्रॉप्ड फॉर मार्क चैपमैन इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. काफी समय से उन्होंने रन नहीं बनाया, लेकिन बैट्समैन ठीक था वो. Hmm. Do you think cricket at the LA 23 should be under 23? Yeah, why are we talking about this nonsense topic? I don't even think cricket should be at the Olympic Games. Cricket is very happy existing in its little bubble. Look at the quality of standard that's going to be there at the LA Games. It's great for the world to say, oh, देखो अपनी team, हमारा देश वहाँ खेल रहा है. But yeah, does it need to go to the Olympics? I'm in the minority. I don't think so. But yeah, your point is right. It should be kept to a slightly younger batch. Under 23 sounds like a good option. I mean, more than under 19. Um, India should put in a cheeky bid for Commonwealth 20. नहीं यार, इंडिया माफी चाहूंगा, इंडिया होस्ट नेशन तो अच्छी नहीं बन सकती. अफसोस की बात है. Fastest 100 for wicket shines away. Is he really that good? Look, he's good. He's like Ravi Shankar said. He's not a Wasim Akram. अच्छे है वो, but he's not something great. Given Pakistan's overall poor standards, he's made to look very good, but I don't think he's great. I think he's good. This World Cup win about who has wanted to win. India, South Africa, New Zealand, Afghanistan, Netherlands have shown that, whereas teams like England, Bangladesh seem like. Okay, so I get Swapnil ke aap kya keh rahe ho, but let's look at it this way. Let's forget England. England have surprised everyone. They've surprised themselves. ठीक है? Bangladesh, did anyone actually see Bangladesh finishing higher than ninth? I didn't. They're a terrible one day team. They have not played India in India since 1998. वो इंडिया इनका और ये टीम तमीम के साथ जो किया, शाकिब का ईगो, Bangladesh cricket after Pakistan cricket is a mess. So I'm not surprised they are where they are. Coming to Sri Lanka, I didn't see them finishing more than seventh. I'll tell you why. And I've been saying this for a long time. If you watch cricket properly, आप सभी को मालूम होगा कि ये श्रीलंकन टीम 8 साल से स्ट्रगल कर रही है वनडे फॉर्मेट में. They predominantly win at home, but their one day cricket had fallen to such a low standard that more than Bangladesh, more than Afghanistan, it was Sri Lanka that had to go for the qualifiers for the World Cup, not being disrespectful to the associate nations and the teams that already were in the qualifying pool. But when you're a West Indies, when you're a Sri Lanka, the fact that you have to go to qualify means that आप World Cup like team नहीं हो. Hats off to Sri Lanka for going there and beating all the lower ranked teams. But Sri Lanka's one day cricket is so poor. They were bowled out for 50 in the Asia Cup final in their home. Sorry, I got a bad throat. In their home fortress known as the Premadasa. Did any of you actually see this Sri Lankan team finishing higher than sixth in this World Cup? I didn't. So it's not about they don't care. They just don't have the resources. Bangladesh don't have the resources. This is why मैंने कल भी कहा था बांग्लादेश इतने 30-35 साल से वनडे क्रिकेट खेल रही है. इस टीम ने जीता क्या? अफगानिस्तान ने अपने तीसरे वर्ल्ड कप में वो हासिल किया जो बांग्लादेश टीम्स नहीं कर पाई. आई नो दे बीटन इंग्लैंड in 2011, in 2015, but Afghanistan has beaten Pakistan, a team that Bangladesh has yet to beat since 1999 in a World Cup. Afghanistan has done three things this World Cup which Bangladesh have not done. So I'm not so sure, Swapnil, whether it's about wanting to win. Can they win? Do they have the mentality? Do they have the players? I don't think so. हार्दिक पांडे अपडेट इंजरी, लाइक आई सेड, ही इज नॉट प्लेइंग अंटिल द नेदरलैंड्स मैच. जब कुछ चेंज होगा मैं आपको बताऊंगा. सो दैट स्वप्निल इज माय इश्यू विद बांग्लादेश एंड श्रीलंका. एटीट्यूड तो है ही खराब, नो डाउट, स्पेशली बांग्लादेश. आई मीन, हाउ कैन शाकिब अल हसन गो होम टू वर्क विथ हिज पर्सनल कोच? भाई आप कप्तान हो, आप टूर्नामेंट छोड़ के वापस जा रहे हो. मैं अगर होता बीसीबी चेयरमैन, मैं बोलता बेटा तू यहीं रुक, तू उस लायक नहीं है, यू कैन नॉट लीव योर टीम इन द मिडल एंड गो होम. और क्या उखाड़ा आपने अपने कोच से मिलकर कल के 40 रन. Very, very, very poor Bangladesh team. Akash, I did a whole show before this World Cup about the 35 players for whom this is the last World Cup. जरूर ये दोनों उसमें शामिल हैं. Rabada in place of Nagiri. Rabada, if he's fit, should be playing, but I don't know. I don't know what his fitness is. Shamsi and Maharaj will definitely play against this team, New Zealand. Yes. Will Young should be replaced by Latham as number four is low for him. Chapman should replace Young. I don't know about the batting. It doesn't really make sense for me. But Ferguson, again, Ferguson should play because of his form. But I would like to see a leg spinner come in somehow. But best upcoming match in this World Cup will be Netherlands versus Afghanistan. It might just be, yeah. Sir, which team jersey you like the most in World Cup? New Zealand. Always, always New Zealand World Cup. Money, South Africa side have all quality for becoming champions. They do, except that one quality which will end up being their downfall: the ability to not chase in crunch matches. Oh, brother, दोस्तों और क्या चल रहा है? What else is happening? Ask me some questions about this match. I've said it's going to be a thrilling match. I feel like it. I think New Zealand will edge South Africa. और हमें बहुत बहुत मजा आएगा आज के मैच में. और एक बार फिर से अगर हम पॉइंट टेबल पर डालें, न्यूजीलैंड आज जीत जाती है तो they will then move up to 10 points, the same as South Africa. South Africa win very simple. They'll go to 12, and then they and India will be into the semifinals, and then that leaves pressure on Australia, New Zealand. Pakistan might push, but they only have two matches left. Afghanistan have three matches left. Afghanistan के matches क्या? Afghanistan have to play Netherlands. They should beat them. I don't think they'll beat Australia at the Wankhede. That last match between South Africa and Afghanistan, that could be the tricky match, especially if South Africa lose today and then they lose, which they might, in all probability, lose to India. Uske baad jo South Africa. Can you just hang on a second? I'm on a show. Can you just hang on? Someone's rang the doorbell. भैया मैं लाइव शो पे हूँ, रुको एक मिनट. So yeah, sorry, this somebody came and he bugged me. Some guy, the Dobie came. So yeah. Anyways, so I'm really sorry. I hate when these morons come. I forgot to put the sign up and all. Pura, my train of thought is gone. Um, I was talking about what? I was talking about South Africa, Afghanistan, the last match. So yeah, when it happens, I think it might happen that South Africa will lose to New Zealand today. I believe India will beat them on the 5th at Eden Gardens. And then it comes down to that last match against Afghanistan. I would hope for South Africa's sake, for the tournament's sake, that South Africa, because they've been so good this World Cup, that they go to the top four. क्योंकि आप चाहते हो कि top four ही रहे वहां पर. But you know, who knows what's going to happen? I would not be surprised if South Africa lose their way from here. Let's take a few more comments. South Africa have all the qualities, yes. Is the South African good with look again? It's we know why Babuma's there. Unfortunately, they have certain policies in place. That said, he had the stats to justify his selection. He was averaging 79 coming into this World Cup. But again, he's just not stood up with the runs. And when you're a captain, I think he brings good leadership. I think he commands respect, but you have to be scoring runs, especially when you're a South African captain playing a World Cup जहां आपकी टीम कभी जीत नहीं कर पाई. So it's unfortunate, but yes, I think he brings value as a batsman. If you notice, teams like SA and New Zealand don't replace players too much from their main pool and stick to a plan. Yes, they don't. New Zealand, frankly, have a small pool, so that's good to see. Yeah, they don't deviate. The one time they did deviate, again based on quota, they lost the 15 semi-final. So Shant, Afghanistan have every chance. Let's go back to their matches. Afghanistan have to play Netherlands. They might beat Netherlands. I don't think they'll beat Australia. They might, if South Africa choke, they might win, but that's only 10 points. 10 points might not be enough to get them through. I asked because Ferguson was injured last match. I think if he's fit, he should play. Yeah, Daryl Mitchell does have a habit of slowing down. That's why they didn't get to a winning total against India. क्या डेविड मिलर की जगह नहीं ना वही अभी तो हम बात कर रहे हैं कि ये टीम एक्सपेरिमेंट नहीं करेगी जो बंदा 6 पे खेलता है वो ओपनिंग नहीं करेगा जो बंदा ओपन करता है वो मिडिल ऑर्डर पे नहीं आएगा सो आई डोंट थिंक सो आई assume Temba is undroppable because he's the captain. I believe South Africa beat New Zealand today. Okay, great. South Africa going to defeat New Zealand today. भाई बहुत लोग कह रहे हैं South Africa. I'm sticking with my prediction of New Zealand edging out them in a very very close match, and then India beating South Africa, and suddenly South Africa's tournament will hinge on that last match against Afghanistan. Yes, today if New Zealand lose, it's open. Not really. Even if New Zealand win, it's open because then South Africa remains stuck on 10 points. And I believe they will be beaten by India and then they'll have to beat Afghanistan. आज जो जीते टॉप फोर में बहुत बहुत बदलाव आ सकता है. Ishan कह रहे I have a feeling that SA will win today. That Pac fans are engaged in the World Cup. Pac fans are engaged. भाई पाकिस्तान की क्यों बात कर रहे हो ये घोड़ू टीम कहाँ पहुंचने वाली है सेमीफाइनल दोस्तों. Anyways, got to get ready for my next show at 12. Love you all. I'm going to take some more medicine. Thanks for watching. Let's go the Black Caps. I think आज इनकी जीत होगी. You guys take care. मैं आपसे मैच के बाद मिलूंगा. Goodbye.